You deserve the fullness that life has to offer, so why not make the small moments more special, delicious, and enchanting? Life Reimagined is where self-love comes first. Let's indulge in the simple pleasures, dig deeper into what we deserve, and make our spaces just a little more beautiful along the way. Woo! My belly is looking large today. Welcome to yet another episode of Life Reimagined. Today, I'm going to give you the rundown, the breakdown, the how-to on putting together a fabulous cheese and charcuterie board. I love a cheese and charcuterie board, and it's something that my friends often ask me to do for gatherings at their houses because I enjoy it so much and I'm just so good at it, and I want you to be good at it too. So I'm gonna break down how I put mine together exactly, and also the fundamentals on putting together a really good cheese and charcuterie board that's always gonna be a crowd pleaser, that's gonna be something that you enjoy nibbling on your own or sharing with friends and loved ones. I feel like this is the perfect season to experiment and give it a try, and I want you to feel a lot less intimidated by the process of putting it together. Also, I want you to know what the difference between a charcuterie board is and all the other boards that are out there, because I think some people get the term mixed up a little bit, and I want you to be a pro. I want to make sure that you know exactly what you talk about out here, okay? So without further ado, let's get into it. So my other videos for Life Reimagined weren't so tutorial-like, where I gave you a breakdown step by step on how I do something. But when it comes to cheese boards, I kind of feel like everyone wants to know, how do you crack the code? How do you put the cheese board together? How do you make a beautiful grazing board and put together a nice cheese and meat spread? So in today's episode, I'm gonna break it down for you and give you all of my tips and the easy ways in which I make something so beautiful that it seems like it's a lot harder than it actually is. I wanna give you a few fundamentals before we zoom in on the board and we get to the nitty-gritty of actually placing the items on the board. First off, you can call it a cheese board, a cheese and charcuterie board, a charcuterie board, whatever you'd like. But I urge you, do not call it a charcuterie board unless there's charcuterie on it. I have noticed this trend of people saying, oh, I'm making a charcuterie board, and it's literally like candy on the board, and it's chocolates, or it's just cheese. Charcuterie quite literally means cured meat. So that's prosciutto, salami, what else? What do we have here? Capricoli, whatever, however you pronounce that, sweet soppressata. These meats are charcuterie, and that's what makes it a charcuterie board. Now, you can make any other type of board that you wish. You can make a candy board, you can make a snack board, you can make a breakfast board, a true all cheese board. You can do whatever you want, but just make sure that you're calling it the right thing and just be specific, because not everything is a charcuterie board. So that's the first step in making sure that you're good at this. Now, the next thing that makes a charcuterie board what it is that you want to have balance, but you don't need symmetry. You want to make sure that you have items that create balance along the board. But that doesn't mean that if you have a cheese on this side, you need to have a cheese on this side, and that they have to be the exact same shape on both sides, the exact same shape throughout. That is gonna make the board look boring. When you put items together that work in harmony, that is what I mean when I say balance versus symmetry. Because a symmetrical cheese board is just gonna look like super geometric and boring, and it doesn't come together the way that a normal cheese board or a grazing board looks. The next thing you want to do is make sure that you're playing with flavor, texture, and color. This is going to make sure that your cheese or charcuterie board comes to life. You want to have different types of flavors that work well together. For me, the easiest way to do this is going salty and sweet. I love a sweet and savory mix. I don't know about you, but I think that it always makes everything even more delicious and exciting when you put together a sweet and a savory item. I don't know what it is today, but I'm losing my breath, so I had to have that water really quick. So, and then when it comes to color, you want to get things that vary in color and really pop on your board. Today, I'm going to be doing a fall-inspired cheese and charcuterie board. So I wanted to get really earthy, darker toned items. So we have some dark chocolate covered almonds. We have some blackberries here. We have a fig and rosemary cracker. Even the goat cheese that I have, I got one that is in a few different colors as opposed to this usual like stark white goat cheese that you see during the summer. I have some rosemary sprigs on their own. And then of course, as you see in the middle, I have a little baby pumpkin. This is not to be eaten. This is just decor. And then we have some little fake corn stock thingies that I think should be cute and fun, but playing with color and also playing with textures. So that means getting a soft cheese, also getting a harder cheese is going to be really, really helpful because again, you want to make a board that is going to be a crowd pleaser and you want to introduce people to new flavors, new textures, and a new experience as they're indulging in your board. All right. When it comes to the size and the shape of your board, that's honestly up to you and it depends on what kind of gathering you're having. So I like this little board here when I'm doing something really intimate, when it's just me and David, or it's me, him, and like maybe another couple. So it's like 4 people, easy, small. Maybe if it's just me and a girlfriend, this is a great size board to use. This board is fun because it's like a themed board, which I love. So obviously it's a heart theme. So this one is great for Valentine's Day, a special date night, when you have your girlfriends over. And here is another themed board. I'm actually gonna be doing a spooky charcuterie board for Instagram. So I bought this recently. This one is great for Halloween or some type of scary, spooky gathering. This one is a round board that I got from Home Goods years ago, and it's actually a Lazy Susan, so it spins. This one is great when you're entertaining and people are, you know, moving and shaking around and whatnot. It's beautiful. There's a nice texture to it, which is really fun. And then today I'm gonna be working with this classic rectangular shaped board. I like the rustic look and vibe of this board, especially when it comes to putting together a fall cheese board and presentation. So I think that it's honestly up to you with what size. It can be as big or as small as you'd like. I have some really big boards downstairs that I don't necessarily keep in the kitchen because we don't have enough space up here right now, but you can make it as big or as small as you want, and the choice is yours, whether you're gonna do a rectangle, a square, a circle. It's not gonna change the fundamentals of how you put the board together. You can still get the same ingredients. It's just a matter of how you place everything and make sure that everything is married together and feels cohesive and seamless and beautiful. Here is our board. It is completely empty. There's nothing on it as of yet. And the first thing I like to do when it comes to putting together a cheese board is lay things out. So if I do have props like I do with this corn and this little pumpkin, I'm gonna place these down first and then do everything else around it. So I'm gonna put the pumpkin in the middle, and as I was doing this, I was thinking it'd be cute to have the little corn stalks right here. And from here, we're gonna start working around these items and just placing everything down. I generally like to put the cheese down first because those are usually the hardest to move around and manipulate. And we're gonna have the Gouda on this corner right here. This is a newer way than I've cut the Gouda before, and I'm really excited about it because I feel like it's so much more efficient. What I did was cut out the middle and then make them into their own individual bite-sized pieces that people can still grab. And I like the fact that it still has this really cute little vessel slash container of itself that I can use. Next, I'm gonna go in with the manchego cheese. And the great thing about manchego is when I cut it like this in little triangles, it's really fun and easy for me to just go around anything that is circular. We also have this goat cheese here that I am going to literally take out of the pack and just plop it down. Because goat cheese is so soft, you really don't, there really isn't a lot that you can do with it aside from place it on the board and put a knife in it so people can go. As I mentioned before, you have to create balance, but it doesn't have to be symmetrical. So we don't necessarily want cheeses directly next to each other, right on top of each other, because we're gonna wanna put other items that you can eat with the cheese. I'm gonna make a small rose with some salami. So I'm gonna take the salami, this is a champagne flute, and I'm going to take the salami and literally just go around the outer edge of the champagne flute with it. This is gonna help us to create a really beautiful rose effect. And I know it's gross to put this meat on your champagne flute, but I promise you, I always make sure to wash it very, 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 very well after using. If you don't want to use one of your champagne flutes, you can buy another or buy something that has like a narrow end to it and use that to create the same exact rose effect. The sides together so that it's all clamped in, and then we take it up and voila, a little rose. I would always see these roses and wonder how people did them because they look so hard, but that's literally all you have to do. Prosciutto goes really well with either of these cheeses over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just put some prosciutto down in this section. Literally all I do is just fold it over like this and then make a little, I don't even know what to call that right there, but make something like that. I'm actually gonna make it a little bit shorter. So I'll put it down here. And again, we're making like a really nice little cluster situation right here that people can easily go and just grab. Again, not super neat, but somehow it comes together really, really nicely. So we have our meats, we have our cheeses. Now we're gonna go into the other items that I like to put on the board. I also like to make sure that we have some type of bright, fresh flavors. So I always love to make sure that I'm adding some type of fruit to the board as well. This is when you start to add in items that touch one another so that you get the effect of the grazing board. I also like to make sure that I'm adding in some type of jam or spread or honey to the board. This is something that people can top their crackers with. So I'm gonna add a fig spread, which has that nice kind of orange color to it that fits the theme. When it comes to crackers, everyone has their own preference. I personally like to keep crackers off of the board because they go the fastest and they can make a big mess. But whenever I have these fig crackers, I do actually like to add them to the board because they're really beautiful. But if you're serving a small group of people, I think it's okay. Always make adjustments as you go, as you see fit, to improve the presentation and the space that you have. Just because you put it down when you were first laying it out doesn't mean it needs to stay exactly as it was. Gonna add in some chocolate covered almonds. I also really enjoy cashews, and I feel like we're all grown, so we can add some more. And to cover up some of these empty spaces that we see here, I'm gonna add in the rosemary, but I also wanna pepper in a few more of these blackberries where I can see. And voila, here is the full spread, all put nicely together. As you can see, we have balance, but we don't have perfect symmetry. We have different shapes, we have different colors, different textures, but somehow they all work together in harmony, which is what makes cheese and charcuterie boards really, really special. So there you have it. That is my breakdown on how I put together a fabulous cheese and charcuterie board. I hope that you walk away feeling like this process is a lot easier than you once thought before, because it is. Putting together a beautiful grazing board or cheese and charcuterie board shouldn't be difficult, shouldn't be daunting. All you have to do is take your time finding different ingredients, different pieces to the board that you actually like, things that other people might enjoy, and then pairing them together in ways that taste good. Again, remember, a charcuterie board only includes charcuterie on it, which is cured meat. The way to really make your board stand out is by playing with color, texture, and different flavors. Your board can be as big or as small as you want it to be, and take your time. At the end of the day, this is supposed to be fun. This is supposed to be enjoyable, and it's supposed to be something that you can share with others and that helps you to feel good. And this fall season, I want you to make a charcuterie board and let me know how it goes. I want to hear in the comment section how your try at putting together a cheese and charcuterie board went. Follow along, watch this video again, save it so you can watch it as many times as you want until you get it down to a way in which you like and you feel good with. I want to remind you that life is what you make it. So why not make it a little bit more beautiful along the way? Baby boy must know that I'm out here making a little spread and some food because he is kicking away. So that means it's time for me to go. It's time for me to indulge in my creation. I'm gonna call my mom downstairs so she can see this and also take a few nibbles herself. Thank you so much again for watching. I'll see you again next Saturday.